Hey everybody, this is Nathan here at the Gold Cove. We're just outside of Detroit in Michigan, in a safe area. Come visit us, 25555 Gratiot in Roseville, Michigan. If you're a ways off, I apologize. We do have lots of people that drive to see us. We run weekly specials that are pickup only. But I do appreciate you guys watching. We got a good video today. And I will tell you that the times right now, I think we're on the precipice. We're on the precipice. And what I mean by saying that is, I think we're in no man's land. Like, we could go anywhere from here. Now, I did just read that the 200-day moving average is at its highest point that it's ever been. So, I mean, that looks good for silver. But we have steadily been declining, especially, again this week. And so I think if we break 70 and start to really fall from there, who knows what could happen. But I do want to remind everybody that 1 year ago today, 1 year ago, silver was $32 an ounce. So even though we have pulled back maybe $50, almost $50 an ounce from an overbought high of $120, we're still well over double what we were a year ago today. So, we have such short attention spans that we just, our emotion pushes us here and there. And that's not a good thing when it comes to precious metals investing. And so I want to talk about that a little bit today, just taking the emotion out of why we buy, how we buy. I will tell you, it's just, when I think of the idea of how many people that were in here, there were a lot of sellers over the last 6 months, but how many people that were in here buying silver at $110. And I didn't necessarily think they were crazy. I mean, today it's easy to see that, but buying silver at $110 versus how many people are in here now buying at $70, $50 cheaper, $40 cheaper. Let's just say 40 because that's the right number, 110 to 70 or 75. It's scarce. The buyers are a little bit scarce. Now, yesterday we sold quite well. So I think silver was down $2-3. One day this week, and so we sold quite well yesterday, but the buyers, I think, have gotten extremely emotional when they were buying in a frenzy, and now they're emotionally negative right now, and that's not a good thing. We want to take the emotion out of it, just be strategic. I will have customers that I see once or twice a week. Now I haven't seen them for months. And so you just get worked up into that frenzy and the news and the action, and you're buying. But now when things settle down and it looks like it's at a little bit of a discount from where it was, people don't buy. And so that's the wrong way to look at it. Here's a healthy number I want to put out for you guys. Last year, 2025, if you look at silver, the annual return on silver was 144%. That is a staggering, astronomical, NVIDIA AI company type number, 144%. Crazy to think about that. And silver, the 50-year compounded annual average interest rate is 5.8%. And when I say that, I mean, if you look over the course of the last 50 years, which is, you should take a longer view like that, not last year. Over the last 50 years, silver has netted an annual compounded rate of return of 5.8%. I don't say that's great, but I think that's pretty darn good. I mean, people put money in CDs at 4%, and even then still you don't really have control and hold of it. And so to put that into silver, something that you own, something that takes you out of the system, something that gives you some comfort, some peace of mind at night, and 5% is the average over 50 years, we still have the opportunity to do those 100% returns. And I wouldn't even put that in your thinking, though, really. I mean, it's there. That happened last year. I really wouldn't put it in your thinking because I did the numbers this year. Silver, we're going to talk about gold for a little bit, but silver is always like the hot thing going on. Gold is more stable and steady, and we'll talk about that. January 1st of this year, silver was $70 an ounce, and so it's almost back to that now. But we're not down. I mean, we're not down. So even I did the numbers on that, and that would net you a 3% return over that time frame. We're talking the end of April, from January 1st to the end of April. That's not terrible. That puts us on a trajectory of being 7-8% over the course of a year if we just continue on with what happened so far, January 1 till today. And thing to keep in mind is we are still in a 6-year-long deficit of silver. So that means more silver is being used each year than what is coming out of the ground. And so how many years can that happen before silver just has to, and has gone up, right? Maybe that's a big part of it, but it just has to keep going up if there's not enough silver to meet the demand. How much above ground silver was there if we've been in a deficit for 6 years and we still can meet somewhat the demand of the industrial and EVs and solar? And that's what I want to talk about a little bit today. Well over 50% of the demand for silver comes from solar power, electric vehicles, industrial use and application. I think it's actually more like 60 to 65%. And so what us investors are doing doesn't move the needle as much as what industry is doing. So there's two ways to look at that right now. I think they're both valid, and I think they're kind of opposing viewpoints. I think even though EVs have stalled here in America, the push for electric vehicles has stalled here in America since Trump has taken office. The consumers, some want it, a lot of them don't. I do think it's the way of the future. I don't think I'm being a genie to say that. I think it's the way of the future. Once it just becomes super convenient and super the norm, I hear that you can get 500-600 miles on a charge nowadays, where early on it was 100 to 200 miles. And so it's going to be the way of the future. The rest of the world, I think a lot of the world is using it more than we are. That speaks to usage in silver. Don't forget, we're dropping bombs all over town. That's burning up a lot of silver. We need to rebuild and manufacture all those bombs. We need more silver for that. Solar, fossil fuels are a finite thing, right? And so we have to get more solar, more EV. And I'm definitely not a green guy. I can tell you that. I'm not for the green movement at all. But I do see that, we're looking at oil again now. I think I saw in the pump, it's $4.50 for gas right now. That's painful. And just how we can see, okay, $4 a gallon, $4.50 a gallon. It's trajectory, hopefully this war is short-lived, but who really knows? It's already feel like we would have liked it to be over already. You can look at that and say, if this keeps up, we will be paying much more for all the other things in life, because it all comes, through fuel, whether it's petroleum-based products, whether it's shipping, cartage, all that stuff. We're going to start seeing major price increases on. I think they've held it down so far, but on all the day-to-day things that we use, if this keeps up another 6 months, expect serious price increases. It's easy to see and say that. Just like it's easy to see and say, if we keep using silver, it has to go up. If our government keeps printing money en masse like they are, they're not slowing down. The printing presses, to me, feel like they're speeding up. Maybe you guys can throw some data in the comments for that, because I didn't look at that, but I think we're printing as quick as ever, maybe not as much as, when there was COVID money giveaways or something like that. But if that continues to happen, gold and silver are going to continue to go up, and it's just a matter of time. And so the idea is take the emotion out of it and be strategic, right? You just continue to buy little by little and keep your plan in place, irregardless of it's going up $4 a day, it's going up $3 a day. Oh my gosh, now it's down $50. That's a better buying opportunity, right? But we see it going up $3 a day, $2 a day, $7 a day. We had days like that. And people get freaked out and they start buying, but they disappear now. It's the opposite of what we should do. Pullbacks are good. We're definitely, I remember being in the heat of 110 silver, 120 silver, 105 silver, and thinking, I would talk to people like, we should liquidate a big position. We should get out. And people are still, even old sage, wise bulls are like, no way it's going higher. No way it's going to keep going higher. And so it's easy to say and see now, but even in the moment, it felt like we were overbought. And so in the 70s, if you got a plan to buy and just amass a treasure, much easier to do at 70 than 100. And so we should, if that's the strategy, keep buying. If you, on the other hand, I mentioned the solar, the EV, the industrial. if our economy is going to stall, this war, the gold and silver don't like this war. Typically, gold and silver respond in the opposite of how they have during a time of war like this. The Middle East gets hot, gets on fire, gold and silver go up. Not this time. And so I think it's a very valid concern, and argument can be made that if our economy starts to stall, and you could say it might sputter right now, but if it really starts to stall, industrial usage on particularly silver is gonna wane. It's gonna go down. And so you can make the argument that that happens, and 60% of the usage of silver is industrial. They could go down. It really could. But the idea is you buy over time, you amass a treasure in a hoard of gold and silver. And when you are young and middle-aged, making money, when you get into a further season in life, you have a treasure chest. I'm going to silence that. You have a treasure chest of gold and silver. Good thing. Yeah, that's one of those family group chats. Anyway, if that's your sentiment, right? If you're worried about industrial, then gold is your guy. Gold is your guy. And I always fall back on gold. And the reason is I'm just not freaked out about gains. I'm not freaked out I need to get gains. I need to go up. What I need to do is preserve what I'm making, preserve what I have. Gold does that. The bankers are heavily invested in gold. Hedge funds, governments, they will put a stopgap on gold at some point because they have lots of it. And now if you even think like our monetary system's really tied in with gold, and so there's safety. There's a safety in gold that silver does not offer. There's a growth in silver that gold may not offer. But if you are concerned about the economy stalling, industrial, demand going down, but you still are into precious metals, then gold is what you want. Caleb threw these things in here. I don't know. He forced me, actually. Not real, doesn't really have a lot to do with gold and silver, but cool things. Like you can walk into coin shops, excuse me, all across America. There are some high-end ones that won't let their stores get cluttered up, and they're just really pretty bullion shops. But if you walk into an old-fashioned coin shop all across America, you're going to see stuff like this. Just collectibles, cool antiques, Americana, things from yesteryear. These things we picked up from an estate. Not sure why. It was just hard not to buy. The woman had sold us some gold watches and things like that. And she's got a bunch of stuff at the house. And so case knives. I mean, this is really cool because this was like a display set. Might sit at the counter at a hardware store, something like that. And you could purchase. You say, I want that one. And then the guy would go in the back, actually right here. Yep. He'd open it up and he'd pull out a brand new box, a brand new case knife. And that might be something you took your grandson or your son in to buy his first knife at the hardware store. Just the legacy and the history of that. Or it might just be a knife you bought for, need a new pocket knife. And the Zippo lighters, I could see today, I don't know where this would have sat yesteryear. Today it would sit in a smoke shop. Where would it sit? Where would it have sit in the 80s? These are probably 80s lighters, maybe 90s. Before they had all these tobacco shops, smoke shops. I don't know. Just sit in a party store maybe. But you could buy some out of there and they're cool. And these aren't super valuable. I don't know. They're worth probably 20 to 40 bucks a piece. These knives are probably worth 60, 80 bucks a piece. If I really had to sell them, probably 50 bucks a piece. But just something cool. I couldn't not buy it when I saw it. It's fun. So when you go into coin shops, make sure that you look around and take in all the cool stuff that we don't see all the time. If you come into my shop, you'll see some clutter, you'll see some mess. That's not good. But you'll also see like just, some antiques and some cool pieces and things like that. So, hey, everybody, thanks for watching. What I really need you to do is jump in the comments. Give us, if you think, man, doom and gloom are coming, gold and silver, they're coming back down in a serious way, although they have already. But they're still looking quite strong if you look at a bigger view than last couple months. Jump in the comments, let us know. If you think, hey, this is just, we're taking a breather real quick, this war, when that peters out, things will go back up again, let us know that too, right? Okay, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you have a great day. Make the best of every day because they're finite as well. All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you guys for watching our videos, subscribing to the channel, and liking our content. We are truly enjoying this journey on YouTube with all of you, and I hope you guys are as well. Be sure to be subscribed to the channel and notified on all of our content. And most importantly, buy precious metals, and don't forget to check out Cameron's whatnot called Gold Cove Cam on there. Things are going way too cheap. It's exciting. It's fun. I'm on there. Pops is on there. Cams is on there. And yeah, don't forget to, throw in some suggestions in the comments down below of what you want to see. Or if you want to be on film, please also let us know. Take care, everyone. We appreciate y'all. Have a great day.